March 11th, 2025, silly Kayla received a new phone after her old one slipped out of her pocket and exploded. Faced with this new opportunity and endless storage, she decided to take a journey to Hatsunemiku Colorful Stage.
Thank you, Carl. If you don't know what Hatsunemiku Colorful Stage is, it's basically piano tiles for Vocaloid songs. There are 6 main groups, but only 5 that you can actually play as. Vocaloid, Leoneed, Moremorejump, Vividbadsquad, Wonderlandsxshowtime, and Night Court at 25. I probably said that wrong, so just refer to that as N25. The game includes stories based off of each of the characters' lives, and you can gain cards, which are just fancy pictures of the characters from each story. Now that I've explained it, I really like Rui Kamishiro. I don't think I've ever liked a character more than I like Rui Kamishiro. I have 96 Rui Kamishiro cards, and a figure, and a pin on the way. I've invested so much of my time and my thoughts into this guy. Not an hour goes by where I don't make a Rui reference. Something has to be about Rui Kamishiro. When I started the game, I was given a choice to make. I had to choose one of the 5 main groups to be my main group that I would focus on the stories for, and I went with vividbadsquad at the time because I didn't know anything about the characters, but I seen Toya Arayagi and I figured he'd be my favorite character. And for a while, he was. There are only a total of 6 male characters in the game: Kaido, Kagamine Lin, Akira Shinonami, Toya Arayagi, Tsukasa Tenma, and of course Rui Kamishiro. And my favorite characters are usually always guy characters, so I went with a unit with guy characters. But it didn't take me very long to realize that I absolutely love Rui Kamishiro. Even now, I'm not entirely sure why I like him so much. Maybe it's because I feel like he's me a little bit. Look at him, except with purple hair. If I was a 6-foot tall guy with purple hair and 2 blue streaks, that'd be him. Anyways, so who is Rui Kamishiro? Thank you for asking. Rui Kamishiro is in the group wonderlandsxshowtime with his friends Tsukasa Tenma, Nini Kusanagi, Emu Otori, and him. And wonderlandsxshowtime is by far my favorite unit because, not only because he's in it, but because they're just a silly group of people. They are just so amazing. I'm getting this from a wiki page, so don't judge me. A carefree genius director, formerly a solo performer, Rui found a new home among the wonderlandsxshowtime members, who accepted his bold ideas. In a search for a way for the troupe to stay together despite chasing different dreams, he has devised an arrangement that lets them put on shows together while still following their chosen path. Appearance. Rui has thin amber eyes and red eyeliner along the crease, and uneven choppy purple hair with 2 cyan streaks. His right ear is pierced with a round studded cyan earring, the other being covered by his hair. His voice is gentle, though it becomes strained when he's excited or curious. More. Rui is a genius inventor who lives by his own set of rules, despite the disapproval of other people. While he is quite intelligent, he tends to distance himself from others as a result of his eccentric thinking and believed that he was an outcast prior to joining wonderlandsxshowtime. Rui has quite a mischievous side, teasing his friends and often causing chaos at Kameyama High when he tests his new inventions at school. While he tends to be the most logical and rational of the group, often keeping his cool when the others are upset, he is also dramatic and loves showing off his newest inventions. Despite his eccentricities, don't bully me, guys. Rui genuinely cares for the few friends he has, treasuring those that stay close to him and willing to do anything in his power to protect them. He defended Emu from her brothers during Smile of Dreamer, and in early stories was often one to speak for Nini before she became more confident. He often worries over his friends, even when he can't do anything but comfort them, such as when Mizuki was thinking of opening up to the rest of her group in Where Does the Path of Thorns Lead To? Or when Emu was putting on a smile for wonderlandsxshowtime during Our Happy Ending. During the wonderlandsxshowtime main story, Rui was cautious at first when Tsukasa approached him to recruit him. While he appeared to be uncommitted to the troupe, he enjoyed his time with them until Tsukasa lashed out at Nini. Finding the action unbecoming of someone calling himself a future star, Rui responded, criticizing Tsukasa and leaving the group. He only rejoined the troupe after Tsukasa took him to the wonderlandsxshowtime and sincerely apologized through means of a show. In his first focus event, Full Power Wonder Halloween, after an incident where Tsukasa was injured during a performance, Rui became extremely worried and subconsciously held himself back from his more extreme ideas because he felt he had found a place to belong and didn't want to lose them. I feel like I should also explain, a sekai is basically this world based off of someone's true feelings. Okay. With the help of Nini, Kaido, and the plushies, Rui went back to his normal grandois of ideas and decided to fully trust his troupe and freely use every idea he had to make his shows successful. Alright, we're getting there. In Revival My Dream, Rui encountered his younger days. He was ostracized and outcast from his peers due to his intelligence, but his mother helped him accept that uniqueness and told him that one day he'd find people he could become friends with. Right after, he became friends with Nini, who had moved in next door, and both became enamored with stage plays. However, when he tried to put on a play with his classmates, he was rejected due to some of his planned stunts putting them in danger, and he ultimately shelved both the play and the idea of performing in a group even when Nini told him that she loved his plays. My poor silly guy. While Wonderland.xshowtime was performing their last ambassador show with Arkland and A Sorrowful Farewell at the Curtain Call, Rui was scouted by their star performer to join them. However, despite it being a better offer for reaching for Rui's dream to create a show where anyone could enjoy it, Rui treasured his friends and rejected the offer due to the Basically, he rejected the offer and told the guy no, and the guy was like, okay, but I'm still gonna come back and find you some other time. In his fourth focus event, Backlight Lens Flare, Rui and Wonderlands.xshowtime were set to participate in the production of a movie. After the director recognized Rui's talent, he brought him along as an assistant to learn more about directing. When they were struggling to make a scene in the movie land emotionally, Rui overheard a conversation between a mysterious theater director and the current director, and realized that to improve the scene, they should utilize the unique skills of the actor in that scene. In the end, Rui felt his passion for theater and directing invigorated as he learned more. Rui loves inventing new things and is most proficient with engineering, creating, and maintaining many of the Wonderlands.xshowtime's mechanical props. He often tinkers with his own creations in his spare time, adding more features or retrofitting them as needed. While he was first introduced with an army of drones, he has since shown his own skills in robotics and programming. He created RoboNini to be a robotic stand-in for Nini, since she had stage fright, and has added like a self-defense system and everything in that. So now that we're all on the same page about who Rui Kamishiro is, it's time to tell you about my experience. About 2 weeks into playing the game, I was absolutely fascinated on my knees for Rui. Like I said, don't really know why, but I barely knew anything about him, and I dubbed him as my favorite character, and I thought, okay, ignore my air conditioner, and I thought, okay, another character to obsess over. I do that all the time, and I do. I got Shadow the Hedgehog everywhere in my room, and I was like, okay, it's just gonna be one of those things. I was wrong. This hyperfixation has lasted for over a year now. And it's not just like a fascination with, like you would have with Garfield or anything like that. No. We're talking like Crumb Cup Toast and Ethan Winters kind of hyperfixation.
I don't know what captivated me. I'm not sure why he grabbed my attention over all the other characters, but something about him is just so alluring. And do not get me wrong, I am not attracted to this man. The kind of affection I have for him is the kind of affection you have towards a cool bug. I'd put him in a jar with holes in it, and I'd shake him around.
The only difference between them and me is that I am attracted to this man. And I would still put him in a jar and shake him around like a bug. Anyways, I got something in my eye. It was 2 eyelashes in my eye. And about a month into the game, I declared him as my husband. And I wore a ring for like, I made and wore a ring for like a few weeks. I don't remember how long it was. It was a while though, and I didn't take it off. And it eventually started cutting into my skin, so I took it off, and I have not wore it since, and I actually don't really know where it is. And I know I'm probably gonna get like a lot of comments saying like, that is weird, that is a fictional character, you do not— Silence. I know, I've been married to multiple fictional characters in my life, it's honestly sad. To be cringe is to be free. One of the things that sucked the most about having an amazing obsession with an amazing character is that I could not draw him.
I can't capture Wyan's beauty! Wyan!
Previously to my projectsekai hyperfixation, I had little to no experience in drawing humans. I only drew furries.
Ew!
Oh my gosh, who said that? And all my art ended up looking like doo-doo. And now I pushed myself to get better at drawing like anatomy and humans because I wanted to be able to draw him good. And I don't suck at it now, but I'm still not great, so I'm just gonna leave the hard work to the professionals. Like I stated before, he's just a lot like me, but he's also completely different from me. Like, if that makes sense. Like, he's me, but he's not me. I'm homeschooled now, but when I was in public school, I was in the gifted class, and I was like one of the smartest kids in my grade, and Rui, I think, is the top student in his school. I could be wrong about that though, don't clip me on that, guys. And like him, I didn't have very many friends because a lot of kids thought I was weird because I was always weird. I've always been creative and like tinkering with random stuff around my house and just building random things, and for a while when I was younger, I wanted to be an inventor like Rui is. I eventually gave that up because I felt stupid, and I found out that like I just enjoy art and storytelling a lot more than I do like building stuff. I do still enjoy doing stuff like that though. I just like art and talking more. And while I wasn't a complete loner in school, I didn't have very many friends. Throughout my different grades, I had maybe like 2 or 3 friends each, and eventually I got pulled out of school before COVID, and I went back down to like 0 friends. Except for one, she lived next to me, but I'm not even friends with her anymore, so that's kind of sad. Yeah, I only had my sister, but at the time we weren't getting along very well, because you know, we're 4 years apart from each other, and that's kind of, you know, you don't want to be around like your younger sibling, I guess. I don't know. I'm not like that now. My sister's my best friend. But for a while, the only friends I could make were the kids that would move into my neighborhood. So I had 3 friends that had moved into my neighborhood. And then one left. And then we left. And then those 2 friends don't talk to me anymore. And also, I didn't have my own phone until I was like 12, so I had no way of reaching out to people, so it was very easy for people to leave. Needless to say, I've experienced a lot of people walking out on me in my life, and I didn't want to like make a vent in this video, and it's not really a vent since I can live with it now, I guess, but it did affect me mentally, and now I like don't spam text people, I don't reach out all the time. Avoid conflict at any cost. Like, I hate fighting. I don't want to do anything that would cause someone to leave me, including sharing my ideas that people might think are weird. We're so alike it hurts. Rui also experienced a hard time in middle school where he thought he was an outcast, a freak, and no one wanted to be around him, so he thought it would just be better if he didn't exist at all. And that was, whew, I could relate to that. Anyways, I'm alright now though. I love living. I got this guy to live for. But we are also complete polar opposites. He is nearly 6 feet tall. He might be 6 feet tall. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not good at math. So he might be. And I'm 5'2". You put me next to this guy who's gonna be a skyscraper. He hates vegetables, most fruits, and prefers candy. While I don't really have a sweet tooth. I mean, I'll eat some sweets, but I don't like candy very much, and I love fruit. I have not found a single fruit yet that I have not enjoyed. Actually, that's a lie. There have been a couple. But for the most part, the majority of fruits I love. You'd never guess that this guy is on the greening committee at his school and actually enjoys taking care of plants. He claims he doesn't like vegetables because he sees them as living plants, when in reality, he just doesn't like the texture of them in his mouth, which is another thing I relate to. I cannot eat some foods because they feel weird in my mouth. Oh my goodness. What happened to you? And he is constantly getting in trouble with people at his school. The teachers, the principal, everyone is on him all the time. You wanna know why? Because he blows things up and he puts people's lives in danger. I only got in trouble at school one time, and it was in 4th grade. We were lining up to go inside because we had just finished recess, and I was collecting everyone's left behind jackets on the playground, and my teacher did not like that I was not in line, so she put me in ISI. But I was very careful in school after that, and I never got in trouble again. He's just a silly little guy. He cares about his friends and their safety, even if he doesn't always understand, like, what they're going through. And he's very passionate about the career he's pursuing, and including, like he's very passionate about it, but he also cares a lot about his friend to the point he rejected probably one of the best offers he'll ever receive in his life in order to stay with his friends. And I just think that's very sweet. And that event actually made me cry. And yeah, I just love that he's weird like me. The end of last year and the beginning of this year, I spent grounded. I was grounded for 3 weeks. 3 weeks without my phone or my tablet or the computer or anything. I couldn't even go outside. The worst groundation period I've ever experienced in my life. But it was not as bad as I thought it would be. It wasn't terrible. But about halfway through, I thought, what if they have a Rui focus event while I'm grounded? What if I miss it? Like, that would be the first Rui focus event while I have the game. I don't want to miss that. But then, like, I kind of forgot about it, and I was like, what are the chances that out of 30 characters, my favorite character just so happens to get his first event while I am grounded? Apparently the chances were pretty high. I missed the event. I'm a very bad wife. Anyway, I got over that, but I'm still pretty bummed out about it. Like, I wish I could have been there, and now I gotta wait for who knows how long until we get another Rui event. I won't be missing that one. I'm staying out of trouble. So basically, there are these cards you can collect in the game, and it's just the different characters. There's some on my wall, and you just, I don't know how to explain it. It's just like pictures of the characters, and they're all graded. So the 1 star I think is like the default you get. I'll put like the examples right here. The 1 star is like the default, I think. They're ugly, especially Aki. Then there's 2 stars, and they're not as ugly, but they don't have any backgrounds or just cutouts of the character. 3 stars are slightly rarer to pull, and like if you do a 10 pull in the gacha, you can get 1 or higher. Guaranteed at least 1 at least. And they're like, they got the backgrounds, they got the details. They're usually pretty good, decent. I have a lot of 3 stars. A bunch of Rui 3 stars. And you can upgrade them to like a slightly more detailed drawing of them, I guess. Then there's a 4 star. The rarest kind of card you can get. I have only like 8 4 stars out of my probably over 100 cards that I have. And 3 of them are Toya cards! Sega! Sega, what are we doing? Sega! I need a Rui card, please! You can spare them! I also wanted to show you some of my favorite cards that I have. I thought that was my cat, it's not as bad. So we'll start with the ones that I actually have in the game. I got this of him sleeping. I think he's just a little cutie patootie. And his 2025 birthday card. I was there for that. I watched the live show, but it's not the same as the event. And then, where did I put that? Oh my goodness, my attention span is crazy out of control. Then there's this one of him holding a little black cat, and I think it's just so cute because I have a little black cat. It's just so cute. And he's got this. I don't have this one. I wish I did. And he's got the little Rui cat. He's like represented as a cat plushie in the sekai. And this is one. Very colorful. I think this one might be my favorite out of the ones I have. And the cat, the one where he's holding the black cat, is probably my second favorite. I just think this one's really colorful and pretty, and I really like that. And while I was showing my mother these cards, she said, "Is that the guy you have a statue of?" She meant my figure. The night I got him, She was calling him a doll. She was like, she spent $40 on that doll! He's not a doll. He's not a statue. He's a figure. I've also made my own Rui figure, but he's falling apart, so I'm not going to bring him out. I'm just gonna put pictures of him. It took me like 7 hours over the span of 2 days to finish him. I don't know why I decided that I wanted to make him a mermaid. I just did. So here's some random facts about Rui Kamishiro. He's 182 centimeters, and that's like 5'11" or 6 feet. I'm not entirely sure, but that makes him the tallest character in the game. He's fascinated by platypus because he thinks it's cool that they are mammals and that they can lay eggs and that there's not very much known about them. And he's wanted to take apart one of the plushies in the sekai that are alive so that he could study it. He made a robot version of his friend Nini so that she could get over her stage fright because she was comfortable singing around the robot and she was just slowly getting more confident. Hi, Ender! This is my cat Ender, by the way. I love you, Ender. My cat Ender. She's so wonderful. And his friend Emu has suggested that he make a Tsukasa and Nini robot too. He's also ambidextrous. He can use both hands, like he can write with them.
Great explanation.
I didn't know how else to explain it. When he was younger, he collected rocks and fossils, which is funny because I did too. I had a big rock collection and I wanted to be a paleontologist when I was going through my dinosaur phase. Those rocks disappeared. No one knows what happened to them, and it's honestly so sad. His mother is a biologist and his father is a robotics engineer. Actually, I've been more recently considering going into like studying marine biology when I go off to college. May or may not do that though, because like I said, I really am passionate about art and I'll probably try to go to an art college, but we all remember what happened in Look Back, so I'm kind of scared to do that. He's an only child, and his only friend growing up was Nini, because she was his next door neighbor. But I said that already. When eating taiyaki, he pulls the head from the tail and so that the bean paste can cool off. Okay? But what I don't understand, I've never had regular bean paste taiyaki, I've only had like strawberry cheesecake, because that's amazing. But if he doesn't like vegetables, why is he able to eat the bean paste? Sega, I have questions and I need answers. He's one of the only characters, to my knowledge, that is fluent in English. But he sounds French when he's speaking English, and I know it's probably because, like, his voice actor probably doesn't speak fluent English, but I just think it's funny that he sounds French.
Hi there. Are you lost? Do you know where your parents are?
In the Sanrio and projectsekai collab, he was paired with my favorite Sanrio character, Hangedon, and his friend Nini was paired with my second favorite character, Usahana. This one's actually kind of sad, but one time Tsukasa was out and he found Nini, and then they both like seen that Rui was like, they seen him out, and they just both went, oh crap, and they didn't want him to notice them. So I just think that's kind of sad that they avoid him.
今日も素晴らしいミュージカルを見て優雅な休日を過ごしてしまったな。そこにいるのはネネじゃないか？もしやお前もミュージカル感激か？とはなんだ？それがリーダーに対する挨拶か？
ゲって思ったからゲって言っただけだし。
だからってそういう言い方は。
さあ、スクランブル交差点でのショーだ。赤になるまでの40秒間、素敵なショーを見せようじゃないか。おや？そこにいるのは司くんとネネじゃないか。特別ゲストの登場だね。さあさあ。
He experiments on his friends and has them try out his different inventions that he creates for his shows. And here are some headcanons that no one asked for. He cuts his own hair. I mean, I do too, but... I think I did a pretty good job. We don't talk about how my hair dye is completely terrible. I think I did a pretty good job. But anyways, that would explain why his hair is so choppy and uneven. Yeah, he's a cat person. This may or may not be canon. I just think because because he's seen as like a cat plush in the Sekai, and he was also holding that black cat. I feel like he's a cat person. He has to take vitamins because he doesn't eat vegetables and likely doesn't get the amount of nutrients that he needs, so he has to get them through medicine. He probably pierced his own ear whenever he was home alone and, like, I don't know, chickened out going to do the other one. I could be wrong about that. I feel like he did one and he was like, that sucked, I'm not doing the other one. He has a terrible sleep schedule. I feel like that's canon. And he's probably a little dense. Like, if someone were to flirt with him, he'd likely have no clue unless someone else pointed it out. But there was a Valentine's Day event where he received a lot of chocolate and stuff from, like, girls, I guess. And they were, like, romantic chocolates. So maybe he's attractive canonically, but I don't know. He's got that mid-look. Rui is my favorite character in the game, but I kind of just wanted to say this too. I do also enjoy, like, vividbadsquad and N25. Toya is my favorite from vividbadsquad still, and Mizuki is my favorite from N25. Megurine Luca is my favorite Vocaloid. So, I hope you enjoyed my really long rant. We'll see how this video goes when I get done editing it, and it'll probably take 50 days, so we'll see. Anyways, thank you, and farewell.